Welcome back to the MíraLA podcast. I'm your host, Arianna Lemus, and today I am so excited to be speaking with award-winning filmmaker Selina Ringel. Her film, You, Me, and Her has been featured in over 250 theaters nationwide. She is a mother of two and wife to director Dan Levy-Daggerman. I am so excited to have her here to share about her experience as a filmmaker, and also she's on a book tour for a book called Be the Train. Please give a warm MíraLA welcome to Selina.
Hey, hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We have just been trying to make our schedules align. And I'm like actually in shock that you're here right now.
I know, I'm so happy to be here. I know it's been really crazy.
Yeah, so tell us about your book tour. How's it going?
Good, really good. But it's just been a lot of traveling. Went to New York. I did something in Aspen. I was actually in Raisado. Have you heard of the Raisado Festival? Oh my God, it's incredible. It's led by Monica Ramirez, and it's all activists, leaders, and artists. And it's this like incredible festival in Aspen, and that was one of the places where I did like a whole talk with my book. But I've been all over the place. I've been in LA. I have something in Mexico City now. I'm going to be going to Phoenix. They want me to go to Puerto Rico. I'm doing something in Austin. And it's been great, but it's been very busy.
So the last time I really saw you was earlier this year in March for my film festival, and you got to do one of your pop-ups at the industry event that we had. So from March until now, you've really just been focusing on the book tour and getting it more like in like festivals, like you mentioned, and just getting more people to know about it. And how has that process been kind of going?
Well, so I've also been focused on, so since I saw you last, we sold our movie to Stars.
Congratulations.
And we actually just premiered on Stars September 1st.
Yay.
Yeah, so that was a big one. We also sold our movie to American Airlines. So we're on all international and domestic flights, and to a bunch of other airlines. And then we also got an international sales agent. So there's been the whole part of like packaging and selling the movie has been like one piece of what we're doing after we finished our theatrical run. And then the other piece is the book and the book tour. And the book is now in Barnes & Nobles and in Walmart. And it's a bestseller on Amazon. And so just focusing on doing speaking engagements with the book. And then also my cardigans. Did you know about my cardigans?
I was like looking at it. I'm like, this is iconic.
So these are manifestation cardigans. And basically I created like 52 patches of different things we would want to manifest in our life.
Wow.
And I basically started it as something I did for myself, and then people really loved it. So I was like, how do I make this available to other people?
Right.
So I've been like taking it on my book tour. So wherever I go and I speak, I have cardigans available for sale.
Awesome. So you are busy, busy, busy. So on top of work, you're a mom, you're a wife. Like, how are you finding the time to balance it all?
Well, it's very hard.
Yeah.
I also recently work out every single day.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I've been doing this class called Burn. Have you heard of this class?
No.
Okay. It's like Pilates meets cardio meets weight training in a hot room. But I've basically like rescheduled my entire life so that I can go at like 7 a.m. to this workout every morning.
Hey, yeah. I don't work out like that, so I'm like,
yeah, you know what? I think a lot of it just has to do with, I think it's very hard, but also a lot of it has to do with how you schedule yourself. And I think sometimes when there's a lot going on, it's really easy to feel really overwhelmed, and it's really easy to not be able to schedule yourself right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how like I feel like I've gotten into this new moment in my life where I've been able to like flow into like a hyper scheduled version of myself.
That's great.
Or like I'm basically like from this time to this time I work out, from this time to this time I'm with the kids, from this time to this time I'm getting my work done, from this time to, you know. But it's intense. But I do, but I do feel like I actually have been able to be like more productive in less hours.
Right.
Because I don't have a choice.
Yeah. And at the same time, like you're starting your day filling your cup up, which is the workout.
Yeah.
Right. And that could be so many things for so many other people, but for you, it is that burn workout. So a question I want to ask you is like, when people look at you, right, they're looking at your career, they're looking at the awards, they're looking at the film, they're looking at the book. But what is a moment behind the scenes that it has fallen apart, or there are pieces that are falling apart, and how do you move through that?
Well, first of all, I think those moments are constant. I mean, like, I'm not going to lie. I feel like self-doubt is just such a big part of the creative journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel self-doubt multiple times in a week, sometimes multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
I think that like the biggest thing that I've learned for myself is to just keep doing things even when I'm feeling self-doubt. So it's like the self-doubt can be really strong, but I'm still gonna send that email, or I'm still gonna get up, I'm still gonna go to my workout, I'm still gonna, you know what I mean? Even if like it doesn't feel good. And I think that that's actually been one of the hardest things in my own like self-growth journey, because I think back in the day when I'd have a day of self-doubt, that would be like a day where I just canceled everything. Because I'd be like, ugh, I'm just like, I'm not in the right energy, I'm not in the right headspace, like, I'm not gonna answer that email right, or whatever. And I do believe in like taking sometimes time, I do believe in that, but I will say that I feel like recently, one of the muscles I've been building is like not being sure of what I'm doing and doing it anyway, and just doing that again and again and again and again and again. And I feel like that actually makes you unconsciously, you're just getting better at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's the repetition, you just keep doing it. Do you know what I mean?
I see so much of myself in that answer, because constantly people like look at me and like all the things that I've done as if like I know what I'm doing, you know, like when I met you and the sisters and, you know, everyone that was there that day, they were just like, wow, like you're so young, like you're doing all these things. And I'm like, I'm doing them, but like, ask me how I'm really doing. Like, I don't know, but I push myself. And I think the word that came up for me as you were talking was persistence. Yeah. And regardless of like how you're feeling that day, you push through it. And that kind of ties into your book, Be the Train, which is constantly moving regardless of the roadblocks and challenges. And I think that's something, I read your book, by the way.
Yay!
It's phenomenal. It's so good. And I think that like that has been like a pivotal point for me as a filmmaker to constantly move through the process. And even with the current production that I'm on right now, is that like regardless of all the challenges that happen, we have to keep being the train and keep moving. So why don't we transition now, talking about more in detail about the book, Be the Train. Like, why did you want to write it? Why was it important to share this book with other filmmakers and just entrepreneurs? I feel like at the end of the day, it relates to them.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll start by saying, so the book, the metaphor behind the title, Be the Train, is this idea that I think a lot of times in our life, we're waiting for the train being the opportunity that's going to take us to our destination. And I think that we're sold like a false idea that one email, one agent, one person is going to like open the door and then your whole life's going to change. And we're all just like waiting for that life-changing email. And I feel like my experience has been that email is not coming. That person's not coming. There isn't a single thing that's going to change your life. You're the only thing that can change your life. And so instead of waiting for the train, you have to be the train. You have to be the opportunity that other people want to be a part of. And so much of what the book is about is how do you create your own opportunities with what's available to you. And I think that again, you know, and I'm Mexican American, and I think that there's a lot of, especially in the Latino community, like a mindset of what's not available, what's not possible, because there's like a lot of ways that, you know, we we're scared to be expansive. And I think that it can be sometimes cultural. It can be sometimes, there's a lot of different reasons, especially as women as well. Like there's just so much we're told is probably not going to work. And I've had so many friends of mine be like, well, why would I ever send like a cold email, for example, and no one's going to answer? And the thing is that, yeah, most of the time no one's going to answer. But when people do answer, it can actually really change things for you. And there's a really thoughtful way to reach out to people. There's a really, so I think to me, the biggest thing about this book is how do I empower more people to realize that there's more available to them right now to start living their creative dreams than they give themselves permission to experience.
Yeah. There's a lot there. So I'm gonna let y'all sit with that one, because that was beautiful. Your film, You, Me, and Her, has had tremendous success. What is one part of the process that you never want to repeat again?
That's hard. It was so much work. It was the most work I've ever had in my whole life, especially the marketing campaign, because we did our own campaign for the movie when it came out in theaters. But I do think I would repeat all of it. It was very intense. But I look back and I think I was also having a lot of, it was a huge adrenaline rush. It was so stressful. The stress level was so high. But at the same time, it was such a rush. And I'm trying to think of what's a piece. There were obviously moments with collaborators that, there were hard conversations, or there were things where people weren't on the same page about stuff, or even me and my husband had moments where we had to go to therapy and talk through some things. But I'm not sure if any of it is something I wouldn't
not do again.
Yeah, I think I'd do it all again. Because I'm psycho. No, I'm joking.
That's fair. During COVID, you also shot a film.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was very stressful.
Yeah. Love that stressful filmmaking.
Many filmmakers have to compromise, right?
Yeah.
From the creation, the inception of itself, to bringing on a team, and then ultimately shooting it, and then the final product, and then all these things, right? What has been the hardest compromise that you have made thus far, and why do you stand by it?
But it's been the hardest compromise. I mean, with that movie that I made a movie during the pandemic where we filmed once a month throughout my pregnancy.
And remind the audiences what the film's called so you can check it out.
Single Mother by Choice, and it's on HBO Max. But talk about compromise, we actually shot a completely different movie than the movie we wrote. We wrote a movie about two best friends who were tired of waiting for the right man and decided they would co-parent. That was the movie we wrote, and it was a comedy. It was a light comedy about two besties having a baby. Lo and behold, never in a million years did I imagine that I had a miscarriage, which was awful, while I was filming. And then B, when I got pregnant again and started filming again, 3 months into that, the global pandemic hit. And I lost all my crew. I became a very fragile person that wasn't allowed to be around people because I was pregnant. Nobody knew what. So it became a movie about a single woman having a baby during the height of the pandemic, and how lonely that experience was, which was actually what I ended up going through. But it was not that funny. And my best friend, who was my girlfriend in the movie, actually moved, the actor moved back to her hometown. So she was gone. So it was the whole thing just fell apart, and we built it 1 month at a time. We wrote 10 pages a month and shot and edited in real time. So the compromise was, I guess, just a completely different movie than we ever set out to make.
And it ended up being really successful because
it ended up being successful, which was also a big surprise.
Right.
We were not expecting that at all. But then we got lucky too, because during the height of the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of content available. So, and we decided to skip the whole festival circuit, which looking back might have been like one of the smartest decisions of my career.
Yeah, when I read that in the book, I was like, wow.
I know.
Never heard
I don't think we realized how smart of a decision it was, but we were like, oh, everything's online and this is very relevant right now. Let's try to sell it right now. Had we not done that, I don't even know we would have been able to sell the movie.
Yeah.
Because 6 months later, no one wanted a movie about the pandemic. Like when the pandemic was over, everyone was like, let's never talk about it again.
That's true. It's one of those things though, like as a filmmaker, when even like right now, what's happening like with ICE and like the effect that it's having on the Latino community, like now more than ever, we need to be seeing Latino filmmakers creating their own storylines, because there's a narrative that's being pushed about us that is absolutely false, right? And then even from an investor standpoint, Latinos are the up next majority, and we're already, you know, the box office audiences, like in terms of Latinos, like we are the target to be marketing, right?
MíraLA.
Empowerment isn't just a word, it's a lifestyle. At Empowered with Gina, we believe in living with intention, leading with purpose, and never apologizing for the fullness of who we are. Our membership is more than access, it's community, a space where joy meets justice, privilege meets purpose, and accountability fuels growth. Here, you'll find exclusive content, real conversations, and practical tools to help you rise, lead, and thrive, whether in your business, your family, or your own personal journey. If you've been searching for a place that doesn't just inspire, but equips you to step into your power, this is it. Join Empowered with Gina today, and let's create a life you don't just survive, but one you boldly own.
I want to ask about your experience with You, Me, and Her, because you were pushing a lot of boundaries in terms of your distribution. You even tested a tech-driven distribution with Attend. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about that relationship, and behind the whole hype of it, what actually worked with that collaboration, and then what was a headache?
So first of all, that all started through a cold email. So that all started through a cold message that we sent John, he used to be the CEO of the National Association of Theater Owners, on LinkedIn. So my husband saw that he had left NATO and he was starting a company. We didn't actually know what he was starting, but my husband was just curious because he was posting a lot about disrupting the theatrical experience for independent films. And my husband felt like there's something that's really not working in the theatrical space. And so he was like, that's really interesting. I bet this guy's onto something. And so anyway, it was such a crazy journey because it started from a cold LinkedIn message to a cold call to like 1 million follow-ups, all very like respectful, but oh my God, I mean, this was a 7-month process of us trying to like court them to see the value of what we were trying to do in our film, because they were actually in the process of fundraising themselves for launching this. So this platform has not been launched yet. So they were fundraising to launch, and I basically convinced them to launch early. I actually said, like, be the train. And instead of waiting for money, why don't you use us as your alpha test? Because there's going to be a lot of cracks in the system, and we're willing to take a chance and figure out what those cracks are with you and be an experiment.
Right.
And that'll make it a lot easier for you guys when you're doing it for all your beta tests.
Yeah, research purposes at that point.
Yeah, and they had like a lot of people, you know, they had like Sean Baker behind them and Patty Jenkins and Damien Giselle and Steven Soderbergh. So they had a lot of heavy hitters behind what they were trying to build. But obviously the building process is hard and there's a lot of moving pieces. So anyway, long story short, it was a 7-month process. We ended up convincing them to use us as their alpha test. They did really like the movie, but they were just like, their initial instinct was like, well, why wouldn't we go with someone more famous or with someone more well-known? And we were kind of like, well, because you're saying that you're trying to help independent filmmakers, so if that's what we're trying to prove, then why wouldn't you choose a truly independent filmmaker who doesn't have a name, who nobody knows, and then let's see what happens. So anyway, we went to 250 theaters. What worked was, there were a lot of things that worked, and then there were a lot of things that were harder than we realized. So what worked was that on a perception level, the movie became way bigger. Like, we had tried to sell the movie before we went to theaters, and none of the streaming platforms were buying it. After we went to the theaters, it changed what offers were on the table.
Okay.
So that helped a lot.
Yeah.
It helped with the airline sale. It helped with the international sales. I mean, because basically all of a sudden, this is like a pretty substantial theatrical film.
Yeah.
So that was like life-changing. What was a lot harder than we expected was the marketing campaign, which ended up falling on us, which we were willing to take on, but we had no idea how much work it was. And the amount of things that, like the amount of details that you need to be in charge of, like, and as stupid as this sounds, like we did like a press tour. We went to like 9 different cities and premiered at 9 cities, and we went there and we did press all day. At one of the cities, our poster wasn't even up in the theater, which was like, we were in 250 theaters. Was our poster not up in a lot of other theaters? Do you see what I mean? Like, how did you track that? But we paid to have our poster up in every theater.
Yeah.
But there's so many little details like this that people are not aware of. And I think that when you're a multi-million-dollar movie, you just have like a team of people who are in charge of making sure that everybody's delivering on what they say they're gonna do.
Right.
But if you don't have a massive team like that, you have to make sure that everyone's doing what they say they're gonna do. And most people are not gonna do what they say they're gonna do.
Right.
You know, and so that was very frustrating. Or we had moments, for example, where certain theaters were like, oh, you have a 7 p.m. screening every day for the next 2 weeks, for example. And then all of a sudden we'd be like a week 2, and someone would call us from like, I don't know, Austin or something, and be like, hey, I was planning on going Saturday at 7, but they've now moved your time, so you're playing at 10 a.m. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
And it was like, so, but there was nothing we could do because it was all like, because we were such a small movie playing with such big boys, do you know what I'm saying? And like, Captain America came out the same day as us. So like, and so stuff like that where like we could have just never anticipated how many things we needed to be in charge of.
Yes.
But it was a huge learning experience.
Right.
Yeah.
My follow-up question to that is, you know, you've been doing this for what, 15 years now? 20?
Probably 50 and how old am I? 15 years.
Has there been a moment in your career where maybe you thought, this isn't worth it? And when you got into that point, who or what pulled you out of it?
I have that moment all the time still. Basically every day I'm like, is this worth it? No, my husband helps me a lot. He, for some reason, has this like deep, unwavering belief that it's gonna work out. And obviously a lot of things have worked out, but a lot of things have also not worked out. And it's interesting because I feel like I'm a very like goal-oriented person, and there's so many things in my mind that I like was supposed to have done by this point. And it's funny because I've done all these other things that I would have never expected I was going to do that have been really cool in ways I would have never imagined, you know, but it's like in my mind, it's like I would have premiered at Sundance by now. I would have, like, there had just been like certain markers, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, totally.
But I didn't even have 250 theaters in my marker. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't even thought about that. Like, but he's just he feels, and I understand where he's coming from, that most people get off the bus because they can't handle it. And he feels like the people who win are the people who stay on the bus. And that the hardest part is to just stay on there because there's so many reasons to get off. And he feels like everything we do, we're like one step closer to where we want to be.
100%.
So he's like, there's no going back now, you know?
100%.
But for me, I live with a lot more self-doubt than he does. I think that's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's normal.
Yeah.
And I actually have a lot of friends who, and now more because we live in LA and I've been here for so long, but I have friends who are famous who have the same doubting questions I do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't ever disappear.
Yeah,
It seems like.
I think it's one of those things where no matter what stage that you're at, whether you're indie filmmaking or you're, you know, one of the top filmmakers, that self-doubt, the, you know, is this worth it? Never goes away. It's just, how do you deal with it, right? And in terms of like your mindset perspective and the people you surround yourself with. Speaking of all of that, I want to kind of shift gears to manifestation, spirituality. It also sounds like your husband is someone that believes in a higher power, if you will.
Yeah.
So obviously manifestation's like super trendy. But what's the part of your practice or your guys' practice that surprises people when you share with them, or maybe feels not as glamorous?
Well, in terms of, I mean, my manifestation practice, I actually have a book that's called the Freedom Mastery Planner, I think it's called. Freedom Mastery Planner. Anyway, every single month, I write down my goals for the month, what I've accomplished in the month, what I feel like has worked, what hasn't worked, what my goals are, what I'm working towards. And then at the beginning of every year, I write down my goals and what I want to do and where I'm going. And then I also do a vision board. And then I also wear my manifestation cardigans. But I am a very, very big believer in putting the energy out that you want to receive, and also in writing things down.
Right.
And in speaking them out loud. And like, I believe a lot in visualizations as well. I like doing a visualization of like a year from now, what would I feel? Like, what would I be doing? How would I be waking up? All of those kinds of things. And then I try to do affirmations as well. I'm a big believer in that. So those are all my like practices.
I was just at Awaken, and this is a retreat led by Danny Morell, and he incorporates a lot of breath work. And I did breath work for the first time, and that blew my mind.
Yeah.
To be in a room full of 600 people doing a breath work together, the energy that was coming out of these people's mouths was intense.
Yeah.
The things that I was thinking and feeling while I was doing the breath work felt very like indigenous. Felt like I was tapped into some different kind of realm, away from this 3D world, if you will. So just kind of maybe something under that.
I mean, I do like guided visualizations. I like Dr. Joe Dispenza a lot. I have done like the Tony Robbins. Have you ever done the Tony Robbins? Oh my God, he has this intense weekend that's like it's like a manifestation, like empowerment weekend, but it's kind of like what you were saying with the breath, there's this one moment where he asks everybody to like scream, but like from joy, like the most joy they are experiencing, and to like literally just like yell from that place.
Wow.
And it was like a room, I think, with like 10,000 people, and they were all just like screaming joy.
Wow.
And it was like one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. It was like, it was just feeling everyone's like vibrations,
Yes.
and that was so contagious and powerful. Like, we're so powerful together,
100%.
you know, and our energy is so powerful together.
It is, yeah. Something that Danny teaches is like you either are operating from like victim energy,
Yeah.
or you're operating from creator energy.
Yeah.
Right? And we know this to be true, that like as filmmakers, as artists, we are constantly co-creating with the universe.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important that people hear your story and the practices that you do also have correlation to your success.
Yeah.
You're not just lucky, you know, you don't just work really hard. Like, there's actual visualizations that you see yourself talking to certain people, putting yourselves in certain dynamics, and you know, this isn't just something that like happened to you. Like, you actually created these opportunities. You created this life that you've wanted, right? We have to kind of like slowly but surely start wrapping up the episode, but some things that I do want to ask you before we wrap up. What is one truth about this industry that you wish more women in film would say out loud?
I think there's definitely some women who are putting other women down. I also think there's the opposite. I think there's incredible women who are really bringing other women up. Mm-hmm. But it's surprising when you see the women who are kind of competitive and really, it's almost like they want to be the only woman in the room. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think we are talking about it more. And so I think that we are kind of more aware of who's like a cheerleader versus who's not.
100%.
But I think that that's actually one of the biggest things about succeeding is like, you need cheerleaders, and you need to be a cheerleader. Mm-hmm. Like you need to really love it when someone wins. I really do. Like, I genuinely, like, when my girlfriends are doing amazing things, even if it's someone I don't know well, who's just like putting themselves out there, like I feel pride for people who are trying. I feel pride for people who are being vulnerable. I think there's like a whole dynamic right now of like this word cringe, where people are like, ugh, she's so cringe. And to me, it's like, if you think someone's cringe, that's your stuff you need to work on.
Yeah.
Because like, no one should feel cringe to you, because everything that's cringy is someone putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
And someone putting themselves out there shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
They should be allowed to put themselves out there however they want.
100%.
And if it's making you uncomfortable, maybe you should go look at what that is for you. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think that there's like this way where we're like, oh yeah, like, be creative, try oh ew, you're trying too hard. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well then how? You know, it's like, I think that it's actually the opposite. I think we have to like really support vulnerability and raise each other up.
100%. And just to that point, I feel like for me personally, like, I am so much of a collaborator. I've always wanted to empower women, especially because I've been doing pageants, you know, since I was 18. So like, all I really know is like how to like befriend women and like lift them up and say nice things about themselves when they're not saying nice things about themselves.
Yeah.
But that also correlates to like cringe or like being triggered. And what I've learned just through my like personal practices and life experience is that actually, like, we as people and the people that we attract into our lives, like, are just mirrors of each other. Yeah. Like, I see so much of myself in you, and I'm sure you see so much of yourself in me. Yeah. And ultimately, when you see people in your life that you don't like to see that mirror, it has actually nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, I agree
because
with that.
people treat other people how they want to be treated, right? And sometimes when people are met with such collaborative energy and uplifting spirits, they don't treat themselves that way. So they start to question people's motives and intentions and actuality. That's just an expression of my self-love and my self-acceptance that you have yet to encounter, but now you are encountering. And now all these like feelings and things that you're thinking negatively have nothing to do with me other than the fact that I am showing you a version of yourself that you can be.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with that. And I think it is true. I think sometimes if you don't have self-love and someone else shows up with self-love, that can be very triggering to that person. It's very interesting. Yeah.
If tomorrow you had to walk away from filmmaking,
oh no. Okay.
what would you want your body of work to say about you?
Never be scared of showing all of your different parts, because being a woman and being a human is complicated and it's messy, and it's also so exciting and wonderful to be alive. And I want my body of work to inspire other women to create like yummy, flawed, messy, interesting, three-dimensional female characters that we can relate to, that we can see ourselves in.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Oof, that was a clip. See, I knew it. Wow. I mean, I think that's a good point to end the episode. I think this was profound. I think you're a wonderful speaker, a great mentor, and a friend. So thank you for supporting me and my initiatives and, you know, everything I'm doing with MíraLA. Why don't you share your podcast? I forgot to mention you have a podcast.
I have a podcast called Be the Train, which is branded under my book, which I'd love to have you on. But it's about creative entrepreneurship. So it's not just film. It's about creative entrepreneurship, and it's about what are the successes, the struggles, how do you stay creative, how do you get yourself into motion, how do you become the train, what does it feel like when the train's not moving, and how do we get past it, so that we're kind of hopefully inspiring other people who want to pursue a more creative life in whatever capacity that is, to see how they could find that avenue.
That's wonderful. And where can people watch Me, You, and Her?
You, and her.
You, Me, and Her. And Single Mother by Choice.
Yeah.
And you also have stand-ups, comedy special. I do film it.
Stand-up comedy stand-up. Okay, I'm gonna plug myself in.
Please.
Okay, so you can follow me at Selina Ringel, SelinaRingel, where you will find everything on Instagram. But also, I have my movie Single Mother by Choice on HBO Max. I have my movie The Best People on Amazon Prime. I have my movie You, Me, and Her on Apple TV, Amazon, and Stars. Just came out on Stars on September 1st. I have my best-selling book, Be the Train, The Mindset and Tools You Need to Make Your First Feature Film, on Amazon as well. And I also have my comedy special, Two Moms, One Mic, on Amazon.
Yay! Thank you. It's so good. I like it.